The hall was silent. A heavy, uncomfortable silence broken only by the distant sound of someone coughing in the back of the church. Emily Carter stood motionless at the altar. The white dress felt heavier with every passing second. The bouquet trembled slightly in her hands. The clock showed 15 minutes late, then 20, then 30. The guests avoided eye contact. Some whispered. Others checked their phones, pretending nothing was wrong. Emily's mother pressed her lips together. Her father kept his eyes fixed on the main door as if he could force someone to appear. But Daniel didn't come. Emily's phone vibrated in the pocket of her dress. She already knew what she would find. Still, she took a deep breath before reading. "I'm sorry. I can't do this. Not now. Not like this." No explanation. No real apology. Just the end. Emily's world shrank in that instant. The sound of the church faded away. The music stopped. Everything felt distant. She had been left at the altar. The officiant cleared his throat, confused. He looked at her, then at the guests, waiting for guidance. Emily couldn't speak. Her legs nearly gave out. Her first instinct was to run. The second was to disappear. Then she felt someone step closer behind her. A subtle cologne, a dark suit, a steady presence. "Emily," a low, controlled voice said. She would recognize that voice anywhere. It was the last person she expected to see there. Michael Reynolds, her boss, CEO of Reynolds Holdings, a millionaire, reserved, known for never mixing business with personal life. She turned slowly, stunned. Michael looked serious, but there was something different in his eyes. Urgency. He leaned in slightly, as if he were just another guest offering support, but his words were clear. "Pretend I'm the groom." Her heart slammed in her chest. "Now," he added, barely moving his lips. Before she could react, Michael offered his arm, a simple gesture, steady. The officiant hesitated. The guests held their breath. Emily felt hundreds of eyes on her, felt the shame burn her face, felt humiliation ready to swallow her whole. If she said no, this moment would define her forever. She would be the woman abandoned at the altar, the story everyone would tell. She took a deep breath and held Michael's arm. "Let's go," she said, her voice surprisingly firm. A murmur swept through the church. Michael gave a small nod to the officiant. "There was a misunderstanding. We can continue." He sounded calmly. Nothing in his tone betrayed improvisation. He sounded in control, as always. The officiant, still confused, agreed. The music resumed, hesitant. Emily walked down the aisle. Every step felt unreal. She felt no joy, no romance, only survival. Michael's posture remained flawless, his hand steady over hers, offering a safety she hadn't known she needed. At the altar, he leaned in again. "Trust me," he whispered. "I'll handle the rest." The ceremony moved forward strangely, improvised vows, generic promises, carefully chosen words. Emily repeated everything automatically, her mind spinning. Why was he doing this? What did he gain? The kiss was brief, respectful. Applause echoed through the church. To everyone else, it was an unexpected happy ending. To Emily, it was the beginning of something completely out of control. Hours later, at the reception, she finally breathed. Michael stepped away briefly, speaking to the event coordinator. Emily went to the bar, asked for water. Her hands still shook. Michael returned and stood beside her. "We need to talk," he said. She nodded. "I know this looks insane, but it was the best solution in that moment." "For who?" she asked, quietly. He met her eyes. "For you, and now for me as well." Her brow furrowed. "What does that mean?" Michael took a breath. "It means everyone believes we're married now. and that can't simply be undone without questions. The weight of his words settled slowly. She hadn't just been abandoned, she had stepped into something much bigger. Michael leaned closer. "I'll explain everything," he said, "but not here, not today." Emily looked around, saw guests laughing, saw her family relieved, saw the perfect facade they had built. She understood then, this wasn't just a favor, it was a silent agreement. And whether she liked it or not, she was already part of it. Emily woke up the next morning in a room she didn't immediately recognize. Light sheets, heavy curtains, absolute silence. She sat up in bed, her heart racing. Then the memory returned, whole and sharp. The altar, the whisper, the restrained kiss, the practiced smile for the photos. She was in Michael's apartment. Nothing personal was visible. Everything was too organized, minimalist, cold. Emily rubbed her face. She was wearing a men's t-shirt, probably his. She got up slowly and walked into the kitchen. Michael was already there, impeccable as always. Dress shirt, sleeves rolled up, coffee ready. "Good morning," he said calmly. "Good morning," she replied, still trying to understand reality. He gestured to the chair across from him. "We need to align a few things." She sat, accepted the coffee. "Last night I didn't want details, but now we need to be objective." She breathed in. "I still don't understand why you did that, or why I agreed." Michael held her gaze. "I did it because you were about to be publicly humiliated, and because it solved an immediate problem for me." She raised an eyebrow. "The board," he explained. "They've been pressuring me to present stability." A chill ran through her. They see a single CEO as a liability, especially with an international deal pending. It made sense and still felt insane. "So you needed a wife. I needed to look committed, and yesterday you needed to not stand alone." Silence followed. "So this was an agreement, a solution. And now?" "We can't erase it. There are photos, records, people who believe it." He showed her headlines. Her name was already public. "So what are you proposing?" "A marriage of convenience, 6 months, clear rules." She laughed nervously. "You're serious?" "Very." Public appearances, a shared address, a controlled narrative. "You're asking me to lie." "I'm asking you to buy time." "And after 6 months?" "An amicable separation." "And my job?" "Not anymore. Transfer or compensation." She studied him. "What do I get?" "Protection, stability, and control over how yesterday is remembered." She closed her eyes. "I need boundaries." "Of course." "Separate rooms, no forced intimacy. Freedom." "Agreed." She inhaled. "Then, fine. 6 months." He extended his hand. "Welcome, Mrs. Reynolds." The handshake was brief, formal. But neither believed it would remain just business. The media attention exploded within days. Emily's phone never stopped vibrating. Messages, requests, speculation. Michael's team moved fast. Stylists, advisors, schedules. Everything was controlled. She learned where to stand, when to smile, when to stay silent. At events, Michael's hand rested lightly on her back, always appropriate, always reassuring. They practiced answers every night. Simple, consistent. How did you meet? At work, over time. Are you happy? Yes. The word felt strange at first, then easier. The lie was becoming muscle memory. Weeks passed. The apartment stopped feeling foreign. Silence became comfortable. Michael noticed how she took her coffee. Emily noticed when he worked too late. One night, a storm cut the power. They sat together in the living room, lit by a single lamp. No cameras, no scripts. Michael spoke about pressure. Emily spoke about abandonment. They didn't touch, they didn't cross lines, but something softened. At the next public appearance, the smiles were real, the closeness effortless. When a reporter asked if they were in love, Michael paused. Emily answered first. "We're building something." She surprised herself, because for the first time, the line between acting and feeling was no longer clear.